Hello everybody, I'm Hank Longo and welcome to this special edition of Sports Central where we're going to take you into the Polk County Hall of Fame inductions so that you can see and listen to the great champions that have been elected this year and inducted into 2018 Polk County Hall of Fame. Hello everybody, I'm Hank Longo and welcome to this special edition of Sports Central. Our first segment brought to you by the Country Club of Winter Haven, and what a fabulous night getting to be on the red carpet talking to the Hall of Fame inductees and previous Hall of Fame inductees, and you're going to get to see me chat with them. Hello everybody, Hank Longo at the 2018 Polk County Sports Hall of Fame inductions, and I have the honor of being with Nancy Denton, an inductee in the Polk County Sports Hall of Fame, and what a special night tonight, Nancy.
It's so exciting. It's such a great time to honor all these young athletes, and then of course the inductees that are being inducted too, and the kids, knowing from when we came with kids, it's such a special time for these kids and their families, and to be honored by Polk County Sports Marketing.
So when you were inducted for your great career in softball, when you get the phone call that you've been inducted, it's awful humbling, isn't it?
It's extremely humbling, and the whole team was also inducted that year. And I said, they told me first, well, you're being inducted. And I said, no, the team should be inducted. And they said, well, they are being inducted, but you are. And I said, what? No, because you have assistant coaches, you know, that work so hard. It's not just about one person.
It's the whole team.
It's about a community.
Yes,
and it's about families and the school. So it's extremely humbling to be singled out for the efforts of a whole bunch of people.
Well, it's so deserving, and you know, at a night like tonight when you were inducted, like they're going to experience tonight when they get up on that stage, is that you look back over all the years that you've been involved. It's like, you know, what got me here, and you sit down and think about it, and it's just it's probably a little overwhelming thinking of everything that's been involved all the time and all the sacrifices, the family sacrifices, and to be able to be recognized for that, just super.
It's such an honor. It's just beyond an honor. It's just, it's hugely, to be recognized in the county that you live in, that you love to live in, and with all of the other people that there are that could be recognized just as well, and then to be singled out. So it's a huge honor. It's right.
Well, we're delighted you're here tonight. Let me switch hands here, and I know you'll have fun being upstairs on the stage helping put their jackets on them and have an enjoyable evening. Thanks for joining us.
Thank you, Hank. Thank you very much.
Hello everybody, Hank Longo for the 2018 Polk County Hall of Fame inductions, and I have the great privilege of being with Lorraine Ballerino, being inducted in 2018, and what a special night for you.
It absolutely is. I really am excited about this and very honored and humbled, so it's going to be fun.
Kind of get you thinking about all the years way back when on Lake Silver, huh?
That's
Is it where it all began?
I'm literally looking at 50 years in synchronized swimming, so I didn't realize I was that old, but I'm there. So
well, you don't look that old by any means.
Thank you very much.
So how did this all come about? I mean, you started off, in Winter Haven just swimming, and how did it develop from there?
There was a woman who actually went to Florida State that learned synchronized swimming with the Tarpon Club, Gail Rennertson. She taught in the early 60s and 70s. She taught half of Winter Haven how to swim, and she had the Winter Haven White Dolphins, and so I was a part of that team. When I went to Troy University, I started a little program there at Troy, and when I came back after the 1984 Olympic Games, I worked at the YMCA, and the Y got a phone call saying, how quick can you get synchronized swimming going? So it started in August of '84.
Well, you've been at every level, and you've
Yes, sir.
won at every level,
Yes, sir.
which is just amazing.
It's been a ride, yes, sir.
And kind of really helped spearhead a lot of the development in this sport.
Well, I try. I'm part of the education with U.S. Synchronized Swimming, and I'm with PR and Marketing, so we're trying to continue to get the word out about synchronized swimming.
And it's come a long way.
Yes, sir. It's very athletic, much more athletic. People think Esther Williams water ballet. It's no longer Esther Williams, although that's where it has its roots.
I mean, for the people watching that really haven't got to see a lot of it, and I've got to see some, you're treading water the whole time you're out there and trying to be pretty and do graceful moves.
Yeah, the athletes are in 10 to 12, 15 feet of water. You know, they don't ever touch the bottom, those kinds of things people think that happen. And they're using pure strength to elevate people into the air, and it's completely physical, very extremely athletic now.
Well, that's a good way to stay in shape,
Yes,
for
it
sure.
is, absolutely. Yes.
Well, congratulations.
Well, thank you very much.
And it's going to be fun to see you up on the stage
I
tonight
appreciate
with
it.
everybody cheering for you.
I appreciate it. It's exciting.
Well deserved, and thank you for joining us.
Well, thank you so much.
You're welcome.
I appreciate it. Take care.
Hello, everybody. We are at the 2018 Polk County Hall of Fame inductions, and I'm with one of the great inductees for the evening, Mr. Gene Engel. And Gene, so well deserved, and what a fabulous night for you to celebrate.
Oh, well, thank you, Hank. This is pretty exciting. I'll probably say it later on, but never in my lifetime did I ever think that I would be a candidate for the Polk County Sports Marketing, but I will tell you that I'm awfully proud to be here.
Well, you've done so much, and I think very well deserving, and so did everybody else that voted for you to receive this honor tonight. But it's a family thing. It goes way back to when, like 1933, when your dad started the first Orange Cup Regatta?
Well, a long time ago, of course, obviously with that, and also the Detroit Tigers being here, and sports, and playing Little League and Pony League baseball, and many years of water skiing, as you have done, obviously. Never reached quite the heights that you have, but
well, thank you.
We're always been sports oriented. We have now found that sports is one of the major components of what Polk County is known for.
Yes, it is.
Which that is very exciting.
Well, and you've done so much to help with that, and along with being recognized tonight for all that you've done in sports, with sports marketing and, tourism, you play a big part in our community with all the different boards that you're on. And I mean, just going through your resume, it's like, how the heck does he keep up with all this? And you just have really dedicated a lot of your time to our community to make it better.
Well, Lakeland and Polk County, I've been here all my life, and it's a very special place in my life. And I just get very excited about seeing it doing well, and we have come so far since I've been here, which I wasn't here in the beginning, by the way. I do want to point that out.
Well, but you've been here a long time helping
yes,
out.
I have been. And but it's just a great group of people, and a lot of people have been very supportive. We're very fortunate to have so many volunteers in Polk County who are willing to give up their time to make this a great quality of life.
Well, Gene, it's great to be able to share this evening with you tonight. Like I said, it's so well deserved, and I know you'll have fun sharing your story with everybody tonight. Once again, congratulations, and looking forward to a super evening.
Well, thank you so much, Hank. It's a pleasure being here.
You're welcome, Gene. Way to go. We are at the 2018 Polk County Hall of Fame inductions. And I have Mr. Ron Morrow with us, one of our great inductees tonight. And Ron, what a pleasure it is to share this evening with you, because you and I go way back, from your family business and mine being right next door to each other, and me getting to watch all that you've done in our community. Wow, what a great contribution it's been, and you being so involved with getting sports marketing going just from the very beginning.
You know, the idea was sports is money. And this county needed it, and we plugged it in, and it worked.
Well, being in the banking industry, you could understand the economic impact of what needed to be brought into the community. And, you know, sports being the second biggest money-earning business in our state, we've just done a great job with your direction in getting sports to come to Polk County.
Polk County was an easy venue, though. It was easy to sell. Sitting right in the middle of everything. What else could you ask for, huh?
Well, it makes it very easy, you know, for all the people to get to us, and of course, having all those overnight stays and the income that, you know, the sports marketing would make off of that has just grown continuously over the years.
I remember trying to get that bed tax in. The slogan was, put your 2 cents in. And if you put your 2 cents in, we took it out.
Yeah, and it worked very well for, you know, generating all the monies that you need to build all the sports facilities. You've got to have the infrastructure to be able to bring everybody in to enjoy the sports, and you've been so involved in making that all happen.
It has worked. You got to say that. It has worked. How many times or how many other places in this state look at us and try to model a program like ours into their county or city or whatever? That's a testament to whether or not this works.
Well, another testament is how you have been so involved in your time and dedication that you've put into making this happen. And without folks like you that have that love and the passion for the community, these type of things wouldn't happen. And can't thank you enough for everything you've done to get us this far.
Enjoyed doing it, really did. I'm glad that they got me and Gene tonight, because one of us needs help all the time.
Well, the two of you have been quite a tag team, I'm telling you, and it's great to be able to be a part of it and watch everything that you've done. And tonight's a very special night, and so glad that you could join us, and looking forward to your induction.
Thanks.
Thank you, Ron.
See ya.
My buddy. Hello, everyone. We are at the 2018 Polk County Hall of Fame inductions, and I'm with a Hall of Fame inductee, Andy McGaffigan, and what a great night tonight.
I'm very excited. Last year it was all about me and I think 6 or 7 other folks, but I'm so thankful to be a part of this fraternity again.
Well, Andy, it's great to have you come back and join us as a Hall of Fame inductee. You get to be up on the stage and make a special presentation with the jackets of the people getting inducted this year. But, you know, we chatted last year when you were being inducted, and boy, once you get that phone call, it really makes you think about this whole career that got you here to begin with.
It really does. It makes me very thankful for the opportunity I had as a player in multiple areas of playing, you know, whether it was in the big leagues or here at college at Florida Southern, and as a result, in that light, I would like to give a shout out to Joe Arnold. Joe's in the hospital tonight, okay. And so he's a fellow inductee, and so absolutely, he was my college coach at Florida Southern. So we just wish and pray for the best for Joe.
Well, you know, it's great having you join us tonight, because you went from being a kid playing ball to college into the major leagues, and there's a very few percentage of people that get to that level. And for you to be here supporting this event, and for all the young kids to be able to look up to you and say, you know, maybe one day I can be there too. Yeah, that's true. You know, my story is kind of a rags to riches. I was cut from my high school baseball team, or the last kid picked, might as well have been cut, to playing 11 years in the big league. It's kind of a neat story. And how did that happen, in a couple of words? Was it just a dedication and passion for the game? I just never quit. I just kept getting better, and I just refused to quit. And I just kept working harder and harder, and good things kind of fell my way. I had some good coaches along the way, and I caught some breaks. I mean, everybody gets lucky every now and then. But I just had, I think a lot of it was my faith. You know, I just refused to quit and just believed that God has good things for me in store. Well, you know, and kids need to hear that message, because there's so many athletes that maybe don't think they're that good, but they are if they give themselves a chance to develop and really be inside what's really in there, which you did. And it's like, hey, don't get discouraged right at first. Right. Just keep plugging away at it, and one day you could be in the major leagues. That really is true. I mean, you just don't quit. You just never know who's watching. You never know if a scout, whether it's a college scout or a junior college scout or a minor league or a major league scout is watching. You just never know who's in the stands. And so if you go about your business every day, working as hard as you can, working to the best of your abilities, you give yourself a chance to win. Yeah. And you proved it, and so delighted to have you tonight, Hank. Andy. Appreciate it. And you look great in our Polk County Sports Hall of Fame. You need my glasses, not me. Thanks. Have a fun night tonight. I will. Thanks, Andy. Well, Welcome back, everybody, to our second segment of Sports Central, sponsored by Party Rentals Unlimited. And now we're going to get to watch the 8 inductees into our 2018 Polk County Hall of Fame.
Our first inductee tonight will be Claude Woodruff. To say he lived a life to the fullest would be an understatement. As a 15-year-old, he served in the U.S. Marines in occupied Japan. That's right, 15. He returned home to Bartow, where his football skills propelled him from Union Academy to Florida A&M. He was part of the Rattlers team that won the Black College National title in 1950. After graduating, he went into teaching. From 1952 to 1986, he taught science and physical education. But he made his mark coaching at the Union Academy, where 7 of his students would one day reach the NFL, including former Cincinnati Bengal and FAMU head coach Ken Riley. Mr. Woodruff passed away in 2009. His wife, Dr. Minnie Woodruff, is here to accept on his behalf, so please help me welcome Dr. Woodruff.
My name is Thomas Clark Stewart. My parents are Dr. Robert D. Stewart and Dr. Edith Woodruff Stewart. My grandfather is Coach Claude E. Woodruff. I'm 12 years old and I live in Selma, California. My grandfather has 10 grandchildren, but I was the youngest at the time of his death. I wanted to be here tonight to witness the admiration of the man and the coach whom I barely even knew. If my pop-pop were alive today, he would be proud that I'm a part of the water polo and swim team, a second-degree black belt in Taekwondo, and a member of the student council. Now, my grandmother, Dr. Minnie B. Woodruff, will tell you a little more about the personal life of my grandfather, the father, the husband, and the coach.
When the late Coach Claude E. Woodruff and I married 50 years ago, he was not a 3-time Sports Hall of Famer. He was not inducted into the Florida A&M University Hall of Fame. He was not inducted in the Winter Park High School Sports Hall of Fame, and certainly not the Polk County Sports Hall of Fame. He was a young coach of small stature. He thought he was 6'5", but kind of not really. He had a big voice, and he was trying to find his way in the coaching ranks of football and track and field. He used coaching as his vehicle to build, in this order, character, work ethic, and to hone athletic ability in young men of Polk County, especially the mighty Union Academy. By today's standards, I'd have to say that Coach traveled the road less traveled. Football was one thing because he had a fraternity of coaches such as Mr. J.J. Corbett and Mr. Forrest McKinney. But he was the head track and field coach. And until I met Coach Woodruff, I'd never seen a school bus parked in somebody's front yard. The first time I went to Bartow to visit, I said, "Why do you have that school bus parked in your yard?" He said, "Because tomorrow is a track meet, and I have to drive the bus." He said, "I drive the bus, I go pick up my boys. And then I come back and I coach them. And then I run the concession stand." He said, "And you're gonna be selling the hot dogs." He started his trip in Nichols, then he'd go to Pierce, then he'd go to Mulberry, then he'd go to Bradley, then he'd go to Brewster. And then he would reverse that and bring the boys back home. Bartow was the kind of community where you belonged. Very close-knit. Don't talk about anybody in Bartow because everybody in Bartow knows each other. Today, he is proud of his relationship and influence on such outstanding men as Mr. Ken Riley, Reverend Nathaniel James, Dr. Sam Silas, Major Hazelton, his own brother, the late Captain Donald C. Woodruff, and his own son, Ronald. While his admiration for Professor James Stevens of Union Academy and Coach Jake Gaither of Florida A&M University He credits Mr. J.J. Corbett as his personal mentor and friend. Coach cannot tell you this tonight, but I can speak for him. He is extremely proud of each of you who came to witness his honor tonight. His cousins, he has two cousins here, Alfreda and Rhoda. He has two nieces, Jennifer and Josephine. He has friends from the villages, Neil and Jill Kimball, Anna Hernandez from Fresno, California. Yes, he believed that you should kill a mosquito with an axe, but when it came to his family and his children, he just melted like butter. Ronald and Galen are here tonight. Raise your hands, kids. Wonderful. The two younger daughters could not be here this evening, Dr. Edith Woodruff Stewart, Fresno, California, Dr. Edith Woodruff Johnson, Tulsa, Oklahoma. I want to express my thanks on behalf of Coach to the Polk County Sports Hall of Fame, Neil Duncan and Jack Cormier. These gentlemen were so nice to me through this whole process. They were so courteous and so professional. I thought I was being inducted. Last, I want to thank the man I married for showing love, compassion, and support for the world at large. Horace Mann once said, "Be ashamed to die until you have won some victory for mankind." Coach, in life and now in death, you have won the victory. Let the work I've done speak for me. And to my beloved husband for over 50 years, God bless you, and may you forever rest in peace.
Our second inductee tonight is Mr. Gene Engel. Most people connect Gene with the Orange Cup Regatta, which his father started in 1933, about the same time as the Detroit Tigers came to Lakeland. But that would really discount his work on the advisory committee of the Tourist Development Council, or as a member of the board of directors for Sun and Fun, Mr. Sun and Fun, some call him, or his work with the Lakeland Economic Development Council, or USF, or with Polk County Tourism and Sports Marketing. But Gene was also one of the founding fathers of the Central Florida Economic Development Council, one of the founding fathers of the Tourist Development Council, and he was one of the founders of Polk County Sports Marketing and its chairman for several years. While Gene's done all of this, he's grown the Orange Cup Regatta into a world-renowned powerboat race that officially kicks off the APBA season for racers around the world. You know, there's so much more that I can say about Gene Engel and his boat racing and what he has meant to the community of Polk County and the city of Lakeland. You know, some call him Mr. Lakeland. You can call him a lot of things, but he's been a mentor, he's been a champion, and he's been great for Polk County and deserves to be in the Hall of Fame. Help me in welcoming to the stage Mr. Gene Engel.
As Mark mentioned, in the early days when we started Polk County Sports Marketing, Ron Mars here, Sandy Fortin's here, a lot of us were involved. And what we saw was, we just saw a lot of talent in Polk County that really wasn't being recognized. We saw an opportunity to recognize so many of our young people and what they were doing and the notoriety that they were bringing to our county. It was phenomenal. The coaches, the staff, all of the people that were volunteering their time to help Polk County be on the map. Well, folks, we're on it. We are there. And tonight is a perfect example of what a wonderful turnout that we have here. Now, Ken Riley, I have also a team that I need to tell you about. Now, this team has been practicing and laboring for, in next month, will be 58 years. And my team, I'm quarterback, obviously, But I also have a running back, my wife, Pat Engel, and George Lindsay, you're going to like this. My team works very, very well. I take the ball, I give it to the running back, and then I tell her to take it and run. For years, I have been volunteering, and my wife has been taking the ball and she's been running it. So it's a pretty good combination. But I got to tell you that I'm extremely proud of my wife and my family who are here, and I'm extremely honored to be inducted into the Hall of Fame with so many wonderful, great athletes and supporters of the sport. And I want to thank each and every one of you here, all of you young athletes, who have honored us by being here tonight and excelling in what you do. And more importantly, I want to recognize all of the coaches and the parents who have worked so diligently to make this a great county. Thank you so very much. Terrific honor. Couldn't be happier. Thank you.
Our third inductee tonight is Bob Georges, a member of the 1971 NCAA Division II National Championship Florida Southern College baseball team. The very first national title for the school, Georges' contributions off the field have made a more lasting impression in Polk County. George's organizational and monetary contributions to the baseball teams at both Florida Southern and Polk State College, as well as George Jenkins High School basketball program, have left an indelible mark on hundreds of athletes thanks to his hard work and determination in the business world.
You know, when I got word of this award, one gentleman came to mind. And he's probably sitting home right now, and he is squirming in his chair and just shaking his head. Bob Georges, there ain't no way. My love-hate relationship, Hal Smelsley, my baseball coach. And there's a bunch of guys here that played for him that can identify with that. I've been very fortunate in my life. I have won the American Legion World Series, the Babe Ruth World Series, and of course I played on the '71 national championship team here, the first time ever. But my experiences as a student athlete far outweigh anything in my life. Other than being married to my wife for 44 years, my 2 children and my 4 grandchildren, my experiences at Florida Southern College are a highlight of my life. It's funny, I came here in 1969, and this is before the internet, so you couldn't get on and look at the college. So I never actually saw Florida Southern College till I convinced the Greyhound bus driver to drop me off on the corner of Lake Hollingsworth Drive and Ingram Avenue. And I get out of the bus, and I look to my left, and there's this lake with this ski boat. And I look to my right, and there's a hill with like 200 co-eds in bikinis. I said, I'll never leave this place. And I never have. You know, it's amazing the number of great athletes in Polk County. And I have just some advice for you student athletes. It's not a question if this is going to happen. It's a question when. There's going to come a time in your life when you can't run, you can't jump, you can't throw, you can't catch. And that happened to me at the end of my career at Florida Southern College. Hal Smelsley calls me into his office, and when he closes the door, you know this is not going to be a pleasant experience. And Bing can attest to that, and Andy. Anyway, Hal closes the door, and he says to me, Bob, he says, look, he says, I want to thank you for your contributions to the program here, but he says, I hope you're aware that you just don't have the talent to go to the next level. Well, I had already figured that out for myself, but you know, he just basically put the nail in the coffin. But So I walked out of his office, I went to my locker, I grabbed my spikes and glove, and as I walked out of Jenkins Fieldhouse, I dropped them in the wastebasket. And I have never picked up a baseball since then. But what I did do is I picked up books, and I read, and I studied, and I took the same determination, enthusiasm, and everything I learned on a baseball field, and I applied it to a business career. And I'm quite satisfied that my business career far outweighed anything I did in sports. So for you students out there, be prepared for the day when you're no longer going to be able to play, and you better have something to fall back on. So stay in school, get your education, and plan your life. And I want to thank you very much. I'm honored and I'm humbled by this award, so thank you very much.
Welcome back to our third segment of this special edition of Sports Central, brought to you by Holiday Inn of Winter Haven, and we're going to see some more of the Hall of Fame inductees.
Well, our fourth inductee, they're like a tag team. And the tag team I'm referring to is Gene Engel, and his tag team partner is Ron Morrow. Two guys that have done more for economic development, sports marketing, tourism in Polk County than virtually anybody else. Ron's past titles include Chairman of the United Way of Central Florida, President of the Winter Haven Kiwanis Club, and founder of the Polk Economic Development Council, more commonly known as the Central Florida Development Council. We know him as co-founder of Polk County Tourism and Sports Marketing and the chairman of the Polk County Sports Marketing Committee for many years. Morrow's promotion of the economic value of sports and the sports industry was second to none. He had a vision like no other, and it was one of the reasons that sports marketing and this event even exists. Ron helped create an economic dynamo that creates jobs, improves the local economy, and diversifies Polk's economic portfolio. That's his legacy, at least a part of it. His vision and drive, his financial expertise led to several major recruiting successes for Polk County, the Cleveland Indians being one of them. And one of the largest basketball organizations at its time, Youth Basketball of America, many of you know, is here and was here for 13 years because of Ron's efforts and his patience with their president, Don Rudlinger. And patience was a virtue with Don. Ron helped establish the foundation for Polk County sports marketing success and had a vision for the economic impact of sports and jobs on this community. Join me in welcoming one of the architects of sports, the sports industry, and Polk County sports marketing, Mr. Ron Morrow.
I was vacationing, or not vacationing, but living on the coast a little bit of my time back then, and my wife and I were over there, and we had our oldest grandson. He was somewhere around 4 to 5 years old. And we came out of Bradenton, and I said, let's go over the Sunshine Skyway. This will blow him away. So we did. We went up over the Skyway and came down the other side, and he comes forward between the two seats, and he says, "Big Daddy," and that's what he called me. And he said, "This is the biggest, bestest bridge in my life." Well, folks, this has been the biggest, bestest job that I've ever had in my life. This has been fun. There's something you can do in the sports of our county anytime you want to. When we started this, we had everything except venues and places to play. We had the desire. We had all the things, the ingredients that could make it happen. We had to make it happen. I still remember when we ran the tourist development tax. Some of that went to sports marketing. But it was, you know, we went around this county and said, put your 2 cents in. And look what we built with that 2 cents. So, you know, I've had a good run at it and a good time with it. And the people who are there every day working through it, I hope they have had as much fun at it as I did over the years. And God willing, I'll be around here to watch you do it some more. I want to thank you all, really, truthfully. Thank you for this honor. Just thank you for being part of our county. Thanks.
Josephine Austin's legacy on the court may be overshadowed by her legacy off the court. On the court, the 3-time Ledger Girls Coach of the Year took the Winter Haven Blue Devils to 3 straight county girl basketball championships after coaching the Lake Wales Roosevelt High School women's team to a state championship. But off the court, her timeless battle for not just equal opportunity in sports, but for women in general, has changed the lives of generations of Polk County students. Austin's impact continues to be felt through her children, coaches, and educators in their own right, as well as those she coached. One former player is LaDawn Gibson, Polk County Sports Hall of Fame Class 2016, who is here tonight to present Mrs. Austin her jacket. Please welcome her to the stage.
Back in 1968-69, this tenacious, fiery little woman, along with her late husband, Robert Austin, they packed up their 4 kids and put them in a Volkswagen and hauled them year after year up to Jacksonville, Florida, to the state basketball tournament. Finally, the tournament came here in Polk County, and then when it went to Tallahassee, and then returned back here, one fixture that was always in the stands was Miss Josephine Austin. She still, even this year, when the Winter Haven girls went to the state, she wanted to make her way back to the championships. She didn't want to sit down low. She wanted to go to one of her familiar seats. And so she was able to do it. My mother, she's going to attempt to try to say a little bit to you all tonight. Bear with her, please.
Okay. Good evening, everyone. I stand here tonight only by the grace of God. I would like to thank several people that helped make this awesome accomplishment possible. Thanks to the Hall of Fame Selection Committee, the Polk County Sports Marketing Group, and all others who, well, it was not robbery to select a little girl from Bartow, Florida, by way of Union Academy. Thanks to Mrs. LaDawn Gibson, who presented me. She was one of my former players and a person that I admire so much. Thanks, Sister LaDawn. Next, I would like to thank my church family and many others for being here tonight to share with me on this grand occasion.
Big thanks.
A big thanks to the Winter Haven, Lake Wales, and Bartow communities for your unwavering support. Thank you.
Yeah.
Now, I wouldn't be standing here tonight if I didn't have talented players. The girls at Winter Haven had talent, but their best characteristics was the where am I?
Right here. Talent.
And talent of being coachable. They allowed me to be tough on them. Thanks to my undefeated Roosevelt High School basketball team. Without you all, none of this would have been possible. Thanks, ladies. But what I'm most proud of is the struggle of equality of bringing female athletics on a level playing field with the boys.
Mom fought and fought and fought back in the 70s and the early 80s because the girls didn't even have JV teams, they didn't have the uniforms, and their coaching pay was nowhere near what the boys was. And finally, people like LaDon Gibson and Johnny Lawson and Miss Marnie Cobb, they all were reaping the benefits of the fruits of her labor. Okay, now, and lastly, huge hugs and kisses go out to my family, which includes my late daughter, Wanda, and my late husband, Robert. Robert stood with me. He stood by me, and he stood for me. And these my 3 kids, Pam, Jim, and Marlon. You all helped me so much while I coached, and now you all have picked up from where your daddy left off. Thanks for standing by. Your mama. I love you all. And to everyone, thanks again. Hold on.
Lorraine Valerino fell in love with synchronized swimming along Winter Haven Silver Lake as a child. In fact, she ran into and coached a lot of people along Silver Lake and also at Cypress Gardens, including our clerk of court, Stacy Butterfield. But that love of synchronized swimming followed her through college, where she started a program at Troy University and then back to Lakeland. She then started the Lakeland YMCA Flamingo Synchronized Swim Team. Pretty cool organization. If you ever watch these young ladies, they are phenomenal. But over the years, the Flamingos have enjoyed both local, state, and South Zone, and even national successes. And Lorraine's love of the sport has transformed her students. Many alumni have continued their synchro careers as collegiate athletes and as coaches. Lorraine has been honored in was honored in 1995 as the United States Synchro Swimming Development Coach of the Year, and in 2009 was the U.S. Synchro South Zone Coach of the Year. Many here have also had Lorraine as a Polk County Schools elementary teacher. I think she'd be a tough teacher, but she'll have to tell you about that. Please help welcome to the stage, no stranger to the sports world, the academic world, and a well-deserving candidate, Miss Lorraine Valerino.
Welcome back to our fourth and final segment of Sports Central, brought to you by the Hampton Inn in Bartow, and we're going to get to see some more of our Hall of Fame inductees.
I would not be here tonight if it weren't for many, many people behind the scenes. Synchronized swimming obviously is a niche sport, and along the way I've had amazing volunteers. Working at the YMCA, I rely on my volunteers. Two of my most dedicated volunteer coaches are here with us this evening. Donna Friedman Jackson, who was actually one of my partners growing up in Winter Haven with the White Dolphins. Her husband Bill is sitting right there. And Anna Whitman, whose husband Bill literally left the hospital this afternoon. He's been unfortunately in the hospital for the last month and a half. And sitting in for Mr. Bill is their daughter Brianna, who swam with me since she's probably about 7 years old. She's now 24, I believe, and she is helping to take care of her dad as he's recovering. Brianna went on to actually restart the Florida State University's Tarpon Club synchronized swim program when she was a student at FSU. So I need to thank them. I would not be here without those two ladies. Their dedication to the sport with me as volunteers led us along the way to our successes. I also would like to recognize my church family, the Church of the Resurrection. I've got friends, Fran and Mark Vanderpool, who are here supporting us this evening. I have Alice Slack Collins in 1984 when the Olympics were in Los Angeles. The day after the Olympic event, the phone was ringing off the hook at the YMCA. Do you have synchronized swimming? Do you have synchronized swimming? And in 1 week, I had 25 athletes. And so Alice is actually the one behind me getting the program started. My Medela School family, I'd like to shout out Jen Goslin again. Medela Elementary School, I'm currently going to be a third grade teacher this year. They've always been supportive of everything that I do. I'm going to leave you with a piece of prose that was written, ironically, by a Christian woman in 1969, which is when I started the sport. And I think it's indicative of what we are as athletes, coaches, parents, support, financial support that is given. Polk County is an amazing place to support youth sports. Polk County Sports Marketing has helped my program over the years. Countless other athletes have been benefited because we live in Polk County. So I am grateful to everybody in this room. We have had tremendous support in the 34 years that my program has existed. It's called Bits and Pieces. It was written by Lois Cheney. People. People important to you, people unimportant to you. Cross your life, touch it with love and carelessness, and move on. There are people who leave you and you breathe a sigh of relief and wonder why you ever came in contact with them. There are people who leave you and you breathe a sigh of remorse and wonder why they had to go away and leave such a gaping hole. Children leave parents, friends leave friends, acquaintances move on. People change homes, people grow apart. Enemies hate and move on, friends love and move on. You think on the many who have moved into your hazy memory. You look on those present and wonder. I believe in God's master plan in life. He moves people in and out of each other's lives, and each leaves his mark on the other. You find that you are made up of the bits and pieces of all who have ever touched your life, and you are more because of it, and you would have been less had they not touched you. Pray to God that you accept these bits and pieces in humility and wonder. Never question, never regret, bits and pieces. I am grateful so much to this community, and I thank you for this tremendous honor.
Jason Odom is the definition of a local hero. The Bartow-raised Odom not only starred his high school, but continued to excel at both the University of Florida as well as the Tampa Bay Buccaneer. Go Bucs. When Odom's career ended after the 2000 season, Jason turned his efforts to the community he loved, where he served as a Hillsborough County Sheriff's deputy until back injuries forced him to retire. Today, he continues to give back by volunteering with the football team at his son's high school.
I'm truly humbled by this, and want to thank the Polk County Hall of Fame, Sports Hall of Fame Selection Committee, the former inductees, this is really cool. I was sitting in my seat wondering, because they didn't tell me how the order was going to go. I was sitting in my seat going, I wonder if Wayne's going to go after me before me. So I'm like doing like the calculations in my head. I'm like, well, he did play 15 years in the league, so he kind of beat me on that. I said, but I wonder if he won 2 Jacobs blocking trophies while he was at Auburn. I don't know if he got that. I might get him. No, actually, the farther away I get from my playing days, the more I realize that it was less about me and more about the support system that I had. And I think it's hard to know that when you're kind of in it, and it takes some perspective to get removed. And I can't tell you how blessed I am to have this support system of a community like Bartow and a county like Polk County. And I'm always proud to say where I'm from. One of the first things I talk about when I meet people, if they don't know where Bartow's at, then I have to say Lakeland, and then usually people get it. I'm sure other towns are like that. But that community that I talk about is deep and it's wide. It's not just the people that you would think that impact you. One of the inductees, former inductees on the stage right here, was my 9th grade algebra teacher. And a little decision like pulling me out of a remedial math class in junior high school because she saw some potential. Countless administrators, countless teachers, even peers, other students that impacted my life, I'm truly grateful and thankful for. As I've watched my kids grow up, I've noticed how important it is for people just to care about your kids. And that was never an issue with me growing up. I always had a great support system, even when I went through rocky times in life. I was going down a path as a sophomore in high school that probably would have ended up in destruction. And with the coaxing of my high school head coach, Charlie Tate, who's now at Winter Haven, my mom put me on a bus to Black Mountain, North Carolina, for an FCA camp, Fellowship of Christian Athletes, and changed my life. And I can say for sure, with certainty, that I wouldn't be standing in front of you today and probably wouldn't have accomplished near the things that I got to accomplish and experience in my life without that trip, because I had a lot of people fooled. And that was a time where the realization of how my life could change if I made the decision to accept Christ. And I saw at that camp a guy who I ended up playing against in the National Football League talk about this same very thing, and a guy named Reggie White. And that was the decision that I know without that one, all the rest of them don't fall into place. I know that I've got meaning and purpose beyond all of this. And I'm truly thankful and honored to be a part of this elite group now. Thank you.
After graduation in 1994, Gandy was drafted in the first round by the Los Angeles Rams. After 5 years there, Gandy also played for the Pittsburgh Steelers, the New Orleans Saints, and the Atlanta Falcons. Over his 15-year career, Gandy never missed a game. Never. After the NFL, he focused on the Wayne Gandy Foundation, which promotes the power of sports in developing leadership, social responsibility, and excellence. He has branched into the business of football camps and also hosts a daily 3-hour syndicated radio show, The Sports Jock Show with Wayne Gandy, and he also serves as a color analyst for ESPN. Wayne's also done some work here in Polk County with his football camps, and they are so well received. Another gentleman on and off the field, probably in part or large part because of Mama Gandy. But here to present, well, not now, I'd like to bring up to the stage Mr. Wayne Gandy.
My journey started off in 8th grade. I remember when football started. I remember when football ended. The 25 years in between, I don't, you have to kind of remind me of that moment. It's a lot of moments. But the first moment of football for me was due to an 8th grade football coach who blackmailed me basically that I was going to be his nose tackle for middle school football. And I had dreams of being Magic Johnson. I had PE, first period, and Coach Aaron Denmark told me I could not play on his basketball team unless I played for his football team. And he was so sure I was going to accept it that he came, because I had PE first period, he was the PE coach. He had the helmet and everything ready for me to play. I thought I was going to slick out of it by, he had 65 people for practice, but he only had 42 uniforms. So the first practice was to get people to quit. I know a lot of kids don't know that now, but they used to try to get you to quit sports. And we did 6 inches for about 2 hours, where you hold your feet off the ground. And I said, I got something for Coach. I'm just going to drop my feet when he get over here and make him throw me off the team. He chuckled loudly when I put my feet down. He said, no, big fella, you're going to be on my team. And 15 years in the NFL later, and a lot of great memories of the ability to change my family situation, my daughter, my mom. This is my mom's table, so I don't really know any of these people other than my daughter, because she filled out the seats and told me who was coming tonight. So even though I'm in a big package, she still, well, you know, statute of limitation has run out. So I don't think they can take you in now, Mom. But to all the inductees, thank you, and for even having me in something like this. I think, like all of us, none of us really get into sports thinking this is where it would end. I was trying to play well enough to go to FAMU, and ended up at Auburn and ended up in the first round. And this is a lot of pressure. I'm just making this up as I go, so feel me as I go. Because it's like third down against Reggie White. Yeah, it's kind of like that. But my story and how I ended up here started with a lot of losing. And I know now, 2018, the new millennials, we try to remove that out of their life. But character is forged in losses. When you go on that journey of losing and trying to figure out how to be better, you'll be amazed how that really takes that character and molds it into something that can stand and fight. And when you sometimes try to alleviate that, especially for your kids, they don't really get that lesson that is needed. Because times to persevere are always the darkest. And sometimes we think only we'll show the kids the light. The darkness has to be felt sometimes. And being a senior in high school and being 1-9, I was trying to get the Lakeland Ledger to write me an article, and come save me. But thank you once again for allowing me to be part of this group and part of Polk County. And the one thing I'll leave you with, Polk County, at least in the National Football League, is kind of like a city. We recognize each other by saying Polk County. I know a lot of y'all don't think that. We don't say Winter Haven, we don't say Bartow, we don't say Auburndale. If I know you're from Polk County, and we can be walking in the huddle, out of the huddle, warming up, I say Polk County. If Tracy McGrady was playing basketball and he comes out on the court, I say Polk County, and you'll be amazed how the ears go up. You must know where I lived in. So don't think that Polk County just falls within this part of the state. It is something that is used as a tool as we go around and leave here, especially in the sports world. It's something that we all take pride in, achieving greatness coming out of this county. So thank you once again.
Well, thank you for joining us for this special edition of Sports Central. And we want to give a big shout out to all of our sponsors: Office Furniture Depot, Hampton Inn Winter Haven, Harry's Seafood, Hollywood Signs, and Spectrum. Our next live show is July 20th. Until then, we'll see you again next time.